What's going on, everybody? My name is Zeke. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, we do reviews on gear, camping, setups, cooking, any and everything under the sun. You can find it here. So today we are doing an unboxing, setup, and first impressions on an AC/heater from a company called Cybertake. So let's get after it. Here we go. Let's move our stuff out of the way here. Let's get our knife. That didn't sound good, did it? All right, that's just gonna have to work. All right, so we'll get to the bags here in a little bit. And let's just kind of see what we'll foam insert here. Okay, we can kind of see what we're working with here. So we got the unit itself, and then we got an accessory box. So that in a minute. Sorry, Mr. Cam. And there's the unit itself. So from an overall from a size standpoint, I think this is actually a very, very reasonable size. This is a very manageable size. So that's going to be, I believe, your inlet, and then I believe you have your ability to do your exhaust back there. Control panel up top. I do have the remote over there, and I do believe it does have an app as well. I believe there is a drain plug or drain port on here as well. So we're going to want to look into that. Okay, so 18.11 inches going to be our total length. 12.99 tall, and call it almost 10 inches. And 21 pounds. And it feels like 21 pounds. Power cable and everything. Probably the... So, looks like it's an Anderson plug. Boom, right there. There's your power input right there. So that's an Anderson plug. And let's go into this accessory box. This is probably some hose adapters. This is so this is probably an adapter that mounts right up here, enabling you to put your hoses on. Okay. Another one. This one's going to be for input your exhaust. I would have drain hose. I knew it. And then, okay, so this plugs in via 120, so it does not run off a 12 volt. And then we need to figure out where that goes. And then this is a really, really high quality hose. Is there two in here? I feel like there's two in here. Because there's two in here. I was like, wow, that's a really dense hose. All right, so we have two hoses. We have our adapter plates. We have a lot of trash. Trash is coming tomorrow, so we're going to get all that out of here. Now, the reason why you'd have two hoses, let's say this is set up for maybe you're running this inside your tent. You could actually run the unit, say, like inside of your tent if you wanted, and then you would want to exhaust the hot air out. Or if you're running the unit outside of your tent and you want to push the cool air in, you'd be running the hose. That's where these adapters are going to kind of come into play. Let's see here, is there really a difference? They look like they're the same, just the overall, how they would attach. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is the one that goes on this side. Clips in just like that, it looks like. And that clips in just like that. Oh, that's nice. Same deal. Idea. Nice simple looking remote. Thermostat kind of design, which is kind of cool. Let's get this thing powered on. Deal with the hoses later. Let's power this bad boy on. Okay, AC input is on. Power button maybe in the middle. Boom. It immediately turns on. So it's saying it's currently set to 77 degrees. Kill that off. 74. Okay, so we have fan speed here on the left, and we have temperature on the right, and we're already feeling some cool air. And we're pulling 24 watts right now, so not a whole bunch. A little light there too. Probably letting you know that you're on cold mode. Max. Auto. We have a timer. What's this do? It's a humidifier. It's heat. That's cool. That's cool. And let's check this. All right, so now we're pulling 100 watts, 106 watts. I mean, I'm already feeling some cool air coming out of this bad boy, which is cool. So we're 77 degrees coming out of here right now. So we're gonna give this a little time, let it fire this fan up all the way. Okay, with the fan running at full speed, we're set at 62. And there goes the power draw. It's starting to ramp up. All right, so we got our batteries in this bad boy, and my understanding is you press and hold the eco button for 6 seconds until you see some lines throw up on the screen. 4, 5, 6, boom, there it is. And then you just press a button on that. Let's probably have to keep pressing and holding that at the same time. Let's try that. Oh, it did work. Joking. All right, now it's in, how do we move it out of Imperial to move S? All right, and then to move it out of the display mode to go between like centigrade and Fahrenheit, you press and hold the light button on the remote, boom, just like that, and it automatically changed over here. So we're gonna lower the temperature back down to 60 degrees. We're gonna fire this, this is super helpful. So what's nice about when you have a remote is, let's say you're in your tent, you don't want to open it up because it's maybe hot out, but you have this outside venting in. Just grab your little remote and this will control everything for you. We just turned it up all the way so you can see the power draw start to increase. Sorry for the wind noise because I'm literally standing right in front of it. Okay, so we're going to give it a real world test now. We're going to let it go for 10 minutes, maybe let's call it 15. We just got everything set up. We have it set at 60 degrees right now. We're gonna turn the fan to, let's go max fan. We'll leave it on auto and it's on cool. From a power standpoint, we're at 30% right now still. And we're gonna start to see that power draw start to increase just because we just cranked this thing up. Temperature wise, coming out of here, we are 80 degrees. This is the exhaust back here. Temperature of the air coming off of it, 85. So let's keep an eye on that. We'll be back in, call it 15 minutes. Let's do that. So it'll be 105 when we come back. See ya. It's been running for 5 minutes. The compressor must now have fired up because now we're pulling 400 watts, which is way more more in line with what I thought I would be seeing. But from a temperature standpoint, we're 5 minutes in and it's 61 degrees right now as the air coming off this beast. So that's super impressive, but obviously that's not manageable or sustainable, I should say, with the power unit. Like this, it will absolutely crush the power unit. You know, this is, again, I'm running this thing at max speed right now. I think another test, maybe not today for this video, but when I actually get the tent set up and it's pretty warm out, I think it'd be nice to just run it in eco mode, because once the sun goes down, you know, it gets down maybe in the 70s. Really, the goal is you just want to cool your tent down. You know, probably don't need to run this thing all night. So anyways, I just wanted to do a quick check-in, and we'll be back here again in another 10 minutes and let you know where we're at. 105. This thing's been cranking along. From a temperature standpoint, 59 degrees coming off that thing right now. But the exhaust, super warm. So the exhausting air is 112. Now we'll say, on max, it's pretty loud. But I mean, again, it's on max. Oh, power-wise. So we're down 4%. We still are hovering at 447, call it 450 watts. So very, very cold air coming off. Let's move this into eco mode and see how we do. So we're gonna move into eco plus. Power draw starts to immediately decrease. So now we're down to 3.2, 250, 222, 203. Wow, that is serious. So the fan is running at half the speed. The temperature is still at 60 degrees, but now we're in eco plus, and I don't know what that ZZZ is. I think it has maybe a timer. So now we're down to 143 watts, 142 watts, and we're still, it's a little warmer, 63, 62, 62, 63 degrees. So I think the trick would be you crank this bad boy up on max, you cool down your tent, and then you move to eco. So yeah, you're gonna drop maybe 5, maybe 10% on your power bank right away. But now, I mean, we're sitting at 130 watts right now. So it's saying we have 4.8 hours at this current draw. So I could run this AC for 5 more hours, and that's at 26%. So let's say if we were at 50%, that would have 10 hours. And if we were at a full power, we would have 20 hours of being able to run this. Probably not. If you think about it, when you go camping, it starts to cool down a little bit. So this is really getting you from, say, 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe, actually, no, you don't go to bed at 5 or 6. Maybe you do, but I don't. I go to bed maybe at 9, so maybe it's still pretty warm out, and I just need I need 30 minutes to really, really cool things down and really cool me down, and then move this thing to eco mode, and then I would be set. So first impressions, I think this thing is super rad. Cybertake did send me this, full disclosure, but they're not gonna see this video before I post it. I'm gonna write them and I'm gonna let them know what my impressions are, which I think this thing is pretty freaking rad. I did figure out and get these mounted up. I think these should be able to fit inside the bag. We'll go ahead and actually break everything down and bag it up as well. My guess is that this second bag here is probably for our hoses, which, let's just do that right now. Do the hoses fit in here? Which would be nice if I have a place to kind of keep these hoses. I honestly don't know what these bags are for. Actually, if I remember correctly, that sits inside of that. Well, that easily fits in there. So the hose inside of hose fits in there, and then maybe I could probably run the power system, but I don't know, I'll get it all bagged up here in a little bit. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Cybertake AC plus heater, super efficient. From what I'm seeing, I mean, it cooled down great. I mean, it got to 60 degrees. I set it to 60 and it got to 60. So I'm really excited, especially kind of come summertime, to get out there and to maybe do some camping in the high desert and be able to still sleep comfortably. I think that's important. I think this is a very compact unit. Now, I do have another heater that I have typically used. The heater that I used last winter is from a different company. I guess it would be a competitor, which we will then remain nameless. Portable diesel heater, and there's a billion of those on the market. The drawback to that, we'll talk heaters for a second. The drawback to that is you still need a power supply and you need to bring diesel. I don't have a diesel truck, I don't have a diesel vehicle anymore. When I had the Sprinter, different story, that pulled off the diesel tank, and I had a big old power system. So now that I have my truck, my camping setup, it's a lot different. So being able to use this as a heater to like kind of warm up my tent, when I go to sleep, and then warm things up in the morning, I love that idea. I really do. I think this is going to be as beneficial, if not more beneficial, come wintertime if it works as well as it does as cooling. So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, drop them down below in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up, give me that subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Peace.